Good morning. We welcome you all to another episode of Meet My Gems in our YouTube channel organized by our Honorable Teacher Mentor Guide, Professor Prem Kumar Agarwal. Sir, please make us familiar with the objective of organizing these interactive sessions with successful aspirants of West Bengal Judicial Service, West Bengal Legal Service, and other competitive exams.
Thank you, Shreya. Yet
Thank you, sir.
another episode of Meet My Gems, episode number 4, has arrived, which will feature Sneha Basu, who secured a third rank in the West Bengal Judicial Service 2018. We will listen to the success story of Sneha very meticulously, which had been really a precedent for all the aspirants. And I'm sure the audience, the aspirants will learn a lot when Sneha speaks out her mind and heart in this episode. Welcome, Sneha. Shreya, you may start.
Thank you, sir. Now let us welcome Madam Sneha Basu, who acquired third rank in the West Bengal Judicial Examination 2018.
Thank you,
Ma'am,
sir. Thank
welcome.
you, Shreya. And I will
Ma'am,
be
hope you're
really
com-
glad if this episode helps you, helps the aspirants. I will be very happy for that.
It will surely do. Ma'am, hope you're comfortable.
Perfectly.
So at the outset, my first question to you, how did the dream of becoming a judicial officer dawn in your mind?
Actually, Shreya, this dream was dreamt first by my Baba. He had that dream that I will become a judicial officer one day. But back then, I was not really interested in taking up law. Then he introduced me to Dr. Prem Kumar Agarwal, sir, and he was the one who germinated the seed into my mind. He gave me the different aspects, how law is, how it is dynamic, and following his every step, I got very much interested in this subject. I took admission in LLB, and from then onwards, little by little, I started for judiciary. I prepared for judiciary.
Thank you so much. The question number two for you is, as a famous phrase runs, beat the clock. Can you share with us
Mhm.
how much time dedicated on your part played an important role in the preparation for such an examination which encompasses such a diverse and vast subjects helped?
Actually, back then I was pursuing with my LLM study, so it was a bit hectic that both LLM and judicial. So what I used to do is in the morning, like from 7 to 9, I used to take up a optional subject, and after that, from 10:30 to 4:30 or 5 p.m., I had my LLM classes at the university. When I was back at hostel, I used to go through a bit of current affairs because that is something you have to do that regularly. An hour of current affairs or GK is a must. After that, I used to take a compulsory subject till dinner, and after dinner, I used to revert back to my LLM. So this was a strict schedule I had to follow. In the weekends, again, I used to devote as much time as possible to the judiciary, or whenever I got some time off from the university, it was all devoted to judiciary. But I must say, the main papers, like the mains had compulsory and optionals. Focus on the compulsory and optionals more than the prelims. I mean, than the prelims part, because if you can cope up with optionals and compulsory, prelims will be cleared very easily.
Okay, ma'am. So, question number three, Let your conscience be your guide. So, how did guidance from family and mentors help you to persevere through this tedious battle for success?
Both my parents were my constants. They always supported me, always helped me out. But you know, a mentor is that person who knows your strength and your weakness and can convert your weakness into your strength. So whenever I used to be at hostel most of the time, so there I could find only one person, Dr. Agarwal sir. So I think him to be my Guruji because I followed his every step. Whenever I was draining out of my confidence or I used to get frustrated or felt very low, it was then he was the one who showed me the path, who enlightened me, who brought my confidence back. And when I started following his every step, I thought that no, fighting for this exam to crack this exam was being very easy for me. So having a mentor is a must. No, he can read your mind. He knows what to do, when to do. He can suggest you the best for your good.
Yes, I do agree with you. Question number 4. Give us your valuable opinion on how differently you dealt with preliminary and final written examinations. As I'm quite sure many of us are still unaware of the exact approach as of yet.
Yeah. You know, as I said earlier, that one should be focusing on the mains. You know, prelims will get cleared once you have completed the part of your mains. So compulsory subjects and choose your optionals very wisely. I had Muslim law. If you can deal with inheritance, go for Muslim law. It's the easiest. Partnership is all about strategy and you know, if you can get through the intention of the legislature, then partnership is a very easy and a small subject. Then again, limitation, you always need it. So I had this three subjects. Limitation always comes with easement as well. And our Dr. Prem Kumar Agarwal sir has a very good book on limitation that helps a lot. So so optional subjects, you should intellectually choose them because it's very scory. And the prelims, I made it like in four parts. One was general knowledge, English and Bengali. You have to do that regularly. Second is CPC. CPC, you have to very minutely, in a detailed way, you have to study CPC with orders and rules because it's a procedural law. And if you study while thinking that it's because not because of competing, but of gaining some knowledge, the more interest you will grow on that subject. So procedural laws are very important. You can follow CK Takwani for CPC. Then coming to Transfer of Property Act, tort and contract. You can follow Bangia and RK Sinha for all those. Then coming to CRPC, I just read the Bear Act. CRPC, I have got no book for it. I just read the Bear Act was enough. For IPC, KD Kaur and some first 50 or 60 pages of SN Mishra is very good. And for evidence, Batuklal. But I must say, go very in a detailed way. Read the textbooks in a very detailed way, but at first you should know the Bear Act. After getting to know about the intention of the legislature, you can very well point out your answers. And do not like waste time for studying prelims every day. Like preliminary will get covered if you cover up the mains. And positively keep half an hour to 1 hour to solve the MCQs after you complete one subject. That will always help you to get through your prelims.
Thank you, ma'am. Your answers will help a lot. My next question to you is: do you think there should be a burning passion to achieve the goal, or is it merely a reason for acquiring a job for security and stability reasons that motivates?
See, security and stability is what we want from every job, right?
Yeah.
And I must say, this is more of a service. It's serving the people than a job. So the intention, the motivation where you get to like to appear for WBJS is that it's a noble and you're sitting on that chair to give justice, to give relief to people. So it's a noble thing. So passion is definitely, I mean, you must have that passion in yourself, that zeal in yourself to compete for this kind of examination. It's just not for competition, it's about doing a noble job. You're giving relief to people. I mean, that's a very unique thing.
Loved your zeal part. That is incredible. Thank you for the answer. Do you think branded coaching classes is a necessity in preparing thoroughly for an intense competitive exam like this?
uh you know Branded coaching classes, that depends on the aspirants individually. Like, if one wants to go there, one can. If one doesn't want to, it's okay. Branded coaching classes are not that necessary. I mean, one can clear the exam without that, but definitely having a guru, a mentor who knows you, who can understand you or who can show you the path at the right time. He may be your senior, maybe a teacher, maybe a friend, whoever it is. Like for me, it was Dr. Prem Kumar Agarwal sir. So having a mentor is a must, I must say. Branded coaching classes may not be so, but a mentor who knows your weakness and who can convert your weakness to your strength, who knows when at the point you are low, what can help you, what can make you enthusiastic, what can thrill you, or how to, like, at first I got very excited and I started taking 3 4 subjects a day. Then sir asked me, don't go in that way, take 2 subjects a day and read thoroughly. Again, I will share a experience of mine. uh, I was
Surely.
standing in the before the PSC gate, and I was having prelims that day, and I saw this lots of students there, very serious looking. They're studying, they're turning their pages and studying everywhere. I was very scared. I called up sir and said, sir, let me quit this exam. The sir at that time said, Sneha, take deep breaths, calm down. You're better than anyone, and you can easily pass through this exam. So I didn't had faith in me right then, but seeing that he had faith in me, that what encouraged me. That draining out my confidence again regained in myself, and I gave that exam a shot, and very easily I got through it. So
I can
having a
understand.
mentor is so much important.
Truly is. So the next question is, how much originality of answers matters? Oh my God. How much originality of answers matters in scoring high marks in written examination?
Like, if you write down your own answers, it's always a unique one than by mugging up notes, which not just you, many other students are doing the same. So it's better if you go through the Bare Act, you understand the Bare Act, go through its minute details, understand the keywords, memorize the keywords and the sections, give it in your answers, memorize some landmark judgments of the Apex Code, this thing in your answers, and mostly highlight the answers, put your points in bullet marks, give illustrations mainly from the bare acts if possible, and the keywords, and highlight. If these things are there in your answer and you present it very well, then what happens? Your answer is very unique. Maybe you haven't used like a lot of words, like other than those notes. One who is mugging up the notes may be using a better English language, but your answer will be very different to those ones. And think of an examiner reading all those answers, mugged up answers. It's obviously a change of eye when he sees a unique answer, and he gets to understand that yes, the student has studied hard, written those answers. So obviously you will score better.
And that is why I asked you this question, because to me an original approach really matters, because
Really.
if every examiner gets monotonous whenever he goes through each and every answers which is
Exactly.
being repeated each and every time in the same manner. Okay, ma'am, thank you so much. So the next question to you is, uh, Was this your first attempt to crack judicial exam?
No, this was my second one.
Okay. So when your first attempt failed, when your first attempt failed, being so close to your target, how did you manage to rise up again and fight?
Actually, it was very sad. I got a 31st rank, and the seats were of 28, I guess. So it was very hard for me. I was sad not just because I failed in that exam, but with me, my parents failed, my mentor failed, the juniors who look up to me, those failed. So it was very heartbreaking. It was a guilt that I could have done better. And I deep inside, I knew that I didn't give my best in that examination. So that guilt feeling, kept me going. That now I appeared for 2017 and again for 2018. So in 2018, I just felt that nothing would stop me. I'm not going to compete with anyone. It's just that me and my conscience. I will be giving my best. I'm the only competitor of myself. So I will be giving my best, and rest, it's in God's hand. So it was just that guilt feeling kept me going, that yes, I can do it. I should do it.
And it was like every failure is a pillar of success. For you, it
Obvious.
worked a lot.
Obvious.
Okay.
Surely.
So, in life, whenever we prepare for such an intense competitive examination, we often feel worn out and stressed. How does discussions and interactions, accompanied with encouragement and boost vocal tonic from Guru, help?
In this case, I would like to say that Prem sir was someone and is someone. Whenever I used to have any problem or I used to feel down or that no, I can't cope up with these things or I'm not the person worthy of it, he was just a phone call away from me. I used to call up sir and he would always like answer me and say, Sneha, it's nothing. You can do it. I can see it in your eyes. I know, have faith in me. So his voice, that enthusiastic voice, he was more like having faith in my worthiness than I had in myself. So seeing that, hearing his voice, I used to get very encouraged. So that thing of a guru, that thing of a mentor who believes in you when you have lost faith in yourself, that helps a lot. And having him as my guru is like a blessing to me.
I truly agree with you, madam, because he is a spark of positivity to us also. So, the last question. This is the last question to you from me. So, what sacrifices do you think an aspirant should make in order to achieve the aim, the desired aim?
uh, I won't say sacrifices, I would rather say balancing things. Like, I used to go for movies, I used to go for shopping, I used to have every social platform on. you know you should set a target that I need to complete this in this much of time. After setting up the target, you need to entertain yourself, or mostly I must say bribe yourself with some entertainment, because if you do not have entertainment in life, just studying from day to night, it would just there's a phrase that would just make Jack a dull boy. So
Exactly.
it's like, don't cut off anything, don't sacrifice anything, but try to balance. Study more, take entertainment in less. At times, take a half day off if like studying has been so much hard. Take a half day off, but obviously balance it. I must say, always make a schedule, make a target, and achieve it. Achieve the target, bribe yourself some entertainment, again set another target, achieve it. In that way, it becomes very interesting and your work is also done.
Yeah, because in that way we don't feel the same boredom also,
Yeah, exactly.
continuing the study for the whole day. Thank you, ma'am. So, thank you, madam, for your gracious presence amongst us and answering all our anxieties and queries regarding the exam. And thank you, sir, for giving all aspirants an opportunity to get enriched from such success stories.
Thank you so much, Rian. Thank you, sir, for letting me speak my heart out. And if my experience helps any of the aspirants, I will be really thankful.
And thank you, Sneha. Now, from this uh, talk of Sneha, I often say this unhesitatingly, without any hesitation in my mind, without any vision, that I have learned much more from my students than from my teachers. And today is such a day. See the very nice way in which Sneha converted the question of sacrifice into balance. So I always say I have two daughters, both are Snehas. My own daughter's name is Sneha Agarwal, and this is another daughter of mine whose name is Sneha Basu. And I have often, mistakenly sent her messages when I used to send to my daughter who is in USA now. Isn't it, Sneha? Do you remember those days?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Whenever I used to wish him, sir, happy birth month, he used to wish me happy birth month. Yeah.
Yes, because I share my birthday with my daughter also. Now, Sneha, see, both my daughters, they are same in a way. She also balances, and she also very remarkably, it may be divine coincidence. She also says that, Papa, you need to take break. You need entertainment. You need to be serious. And see, the same thing echoed by Sneha today. So this can be a very good lesson for all of us. Even if she is very younger to me, but even the oldies like us can learn a lot from such, such approach to life. That okay, we need to be serious in whatever we do, but we need also to satisfy our, thirst for entertainment, our thirst to break the monotony. So brilliant, Sneha. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
sir.
much. And I'm sure that the way she actually opened her heart and mind to the aspirants and the others will go a long way in, in contributing to to sort of a positive environment in the gloom of pandemic and public health crisis. So I often say no crisis should be wasted, and this is one humble attempt from my end that if something can be done during this health crisis, public health crisis, where students of law, they are confined in their homes, they are unable to come out, you know and these episodes, if they help in any way, I think I will consider this to be, something very important and very meaningful. uh, Thank you, Sneha. Thank you, Striya, it's all yours now.
So thank you so much for giving the privilege to speak with ma'am, to acquire some experiences and knowledge which will help in our journey forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you.